guys, welcome back to my channel. And yes, today I'm going to be making my own sketchbook from scratch. Not the paper, I can't make paper, therefore they're tearing really badly paper. But I will bind it myself, decorate it, completely construct it myself, and today you guys are going to learn how to do that too. But first you need to watch me struggle after pulling the papers out so fast. I should not have done that. Anyway, after I had my papers all prepped up, nice and neat edged, I just wanted to make sure, check. There were a couple of the ones in there that were torn slightly badly, but don't worry, they won't be wasted. The idea behind making my own sketchbook is I can get the paper quality as I wanted, the binding as I wanted, the size as I wanted. The problem I was facing is that the paper that had the good quality paper was always in a spring bound sketchbook, but I wanted no spring binding because it doesn't give you the opportunity to create the nice sketchbook spread. But the books that did have no spring binding, like this one, had really thin paper that isn't for painting, and I, as you guys know, paint mostly. So I decided I might as well just create my own, and since this big sketchbook is pretty big, I don't use such big papers, I feel comfortable drawing on smaller papers, I should just create it myself. But obviously we need to take out the torn ones first. In my desire to get a good effect for the video, I pretty much ruined the paper. But to save the paper, I'm not going to waste it. I feel terrible wasting paper. I'm just going to make the torn papers the front edge that will be glued to the cover, and the back edge that will be glued to the cover, so that then we aren't wasting it. We eventually did have to stick paper to the cover, so better torn paper than nice paper. This is like a 300 GSM paper. I've said paper possibly 10 times in the past 10 seconds. But well, what was I saying? 300 GSM paper. Yeah, it's like thick watercolor paper, so acrylic should work well on this as well. And that's what I wanted, a nice acrylic sketchbook, because I don't exactly have one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have plenty of sketchbooks. I'm trying to finish off 3 sketchbooks alone, but who doesn't need more sketchbooks? The idea behind this step that I'm doing here is we're going to fold our papers in pairs. So 2 sheets folded together, and then eventually we're going to bind each of these 2 sheets together with staples. Not in the way you might think, but with staples, and then put them together. You'll see how it goes further on. It's your choice, whichever papers you want to mix and match. It could also be an interesting sketchbook with like different styles of paper. Maybe part of it could be Canson paper, part of it could be watercolor, thicker paper, part of it could be for inks. It could be a complete mixture of papers. You don't have to make them all the same. You can mix and match up to your liking. That's why you're making it yourself, because, well, obviously you want to do it on your own, have it according to your liking, so nothing's stopping you from adding a million different types of papers in the same sketchbook. So here we have all 5 of our pairs done because I've taken out 10 sheets. So we now have a 20-page sketchbook. The way I've decided to bind this is basically I'm using a thumb pin to create holes the length of the staple pin, then putting a single staple pin through and folding it from the back with a ruler. I'm doing it this way and not with a normal stapler is because when you use a normal stapler and you try to staple it, for example, I'm using an eraser at the back so I don't spoil my desk. If you try and staple that, the staple pin will get stuck in the eraser, and then trying to pull that out is very messy. I have attempted it, don't try it. This way was much easier. Now this step you can do either before or after binding it, it's your choice. But this is making the cover. I chose black because it gives me an interesting canvas to work on, because I want to decorate my cover. If you want white or you want some other color or some other material, it's up to you, but try and make it sturdier than the actual paper so that it's kind of like a cover and not just another sheet of paper. Mine has a tiny edge around it. It's as I wanted it. It's up to you, whatever you want. Here we have all 5 pairs stapled together. This entire process took me about 10 minutes, maybe 15. And now to get rid of those pointy staples at the end, we don't want those poking anyone, and also to bind them together, I'm using duct tape. You could use other tape, but I feel duct tape is the strongest material and I don't want my sketchbook falling apart. I do not want that. So I tried to use the strongest tape possible, which was duct tape. If you don't have it, don't freak out. You could glue gun them together and maybe use other tape, but I'd prefer duct tape. Most preferred. And I even added extra layers because I was really particular about my sketchbook keeping it together. You can, even if you add like extras, you can just trim it off from the end and give it a really clean finish. That doesn't really matter. Now you can see how this thing is starting to take shape. It's like, it looks like a book now. Now all you need to do is basically add the cover on. But to add the cover, we needed to glue gun it. You need a glue gun for this. There's no way around it. Otherwise your thing will open up and it won't work well. I would have glue gunned it on camera, but I couldn't have done that. There was no electrical socket nearby. But basically I'm going to glue the first page, the back page, and the spine of the book. Nothing more than that. Just like this. See? Just the front page, the spine, and the back page. That's it. You just put a layer of glue and just stick it together. And then keep it pressed for a bit so make sure it stays. So we finally have our shape of a book. At this point I felt really accomplished. I have created a book for myself. And this book lies flat. This sketchbook lies flat. A problem most people face when it comes to not spiral bound sketchbooks is that it doesn't lay flat. This one did. So far it does. And it has like really good quality paper, which I'm really happy about as well. And it's a nice blank surface to customize, which is the next step. See, my previous sketchbook, I added some stickers and I made some details on with the Posca pen. I customized it, basically made it my own. So we're going to do the same for this one because, as you guys know, everything I have is pretty much painted, even my cock. So for this sketchbook I decided we're going to use some stickers, some quotes, bunch of things. The first sticker I wanted to put on was this character. I took inspiration from a character of Draw with Waffles. She does really good things, so I'm going to stickerize it. Here's a sticker. This is a slightly ironic sticker because I don't draw characters that often, nor do I use markers that often. And this is both markers and people. I don't do that. And this book is basically meant for landscapes because it has the nice thick watercolor paper. So this is a slightly ironic sticker. Would you call it ironic? Not sure. But it looked cute and I liked the idea behind it. Originally the picture was actually her holding a tablet, but I'm like, forget the tablet. Sketchbooks are better. I have a new love for stickers recently. Okay, we have our book back again, and here's the sticker. Took some effort peeling off the back. I struggled for a bit, and this isn't double the speed, so imagine how long it took me in real life. But I find it a cute sticker, and I like it. It's nice. This is also another sticker that I made. It's a cupcake. I painted it myself. All of the stuff that I've done on this cover, I've done myself. I haven't taken it from anywhere else. Now we're adding some quotes. This quote is kind of interesting. I like it. It kind of describes me as an artist. 2 a.m. is made for writers, painters, poets, artists, and creative people. It is my favorite hour, which is true. I get the most random ideas in the middle of the night. Like, my family can go to sleep one day and wake up the next morning to find the whole house painted. Dangerous. This next quote is also something I've faced myself. Creative minds are rarely tidy. Because I always have so many different ideas running through my mind and I want to put them down all the time. So the sketchbook will help me do that. But then it's also like a sketchbook, so it'll be crazy kind of. But the idea here is that you don't need to have anything specific on your sketchbook cover. It's your sketchbook. Whatever you want, it goes on there. It's totally up to you. It's you kind of. It's portraying you. It could be like a teaser for what's to come, or something that you like, or something different from what's inside the book in reality, like mine. It's totally your choice. It's up to you. It's basically a customizable cover. It is a customizable cover. So I was really proud to see this book, honestly. I'm like, I put this book together. oh my god, I decorated this cover and now I can actually use it, which is the best part. You can literally use this book. You've constructed it yourself, so you're super proud of it and you're really happy to use it. And it's also that you also have that thought that, oh, I've saved paper. I found that an interesting thought. Like, I saved paper. I didn't go get another sketchbook. I just made it myself from old paper. I found this really fun project, really interesting, and I'm definitely making more sketchbooks for myself in the future. I hope you guys liked this video. You learned something, found it a bit interesting. I don't know. See you guys next week.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Bye.